Before the story begins, remember this: the alien did not find a dead ship. They found a lock, and when Commander Va'Ruk tried to tow it home, he pulled on one door humanity had left closed.
The aliens found the dead human ship where no ship should have been able to stay. It hung beside a black hole. Not near it. Beside it. Close enough that light bent around its hull in thin white arcs. Close enough that time itself moved strangely on the sensor boards. Close enough that any normal vessel would have been pulled apart, stretched into fire, and swallowed without leaving a name behind. But the human ship did not fall. It sat there in the dark, motionless and silent, like an old hand holding the edge of a door no one else could see. Commander Va'Ruk Senn stood on the bridge of the salvage cruiser Ash Talon and stared at it with hungry eyes. "Human design," he said. No one answered at first. His crew knew better than to speak too soon near a black hole. The object on the screen was long, narrow, and ugly in the way old human machines often were. No graceful wings. No ceremonial hull curves. No gold plating. No decorative banners. Just armored ribs, external gravity spines, burnt plating, and a bow section shaped like a clenched fist. Across its side, half-faded letters still remained. HCS Iron Cradle. Second Officer Lyron Course leaned over the scan table. No life signs. Power. Minimal. Internal core only. Weapons. Cold. Engines. Dead. Va'Ruk smiled. Then it is salvage. Course did not smile back. The black hole filled half the forward display, a wound in space wrapped in a bright ring of stolen light. Even looking at it through filtered instruments made the mind uneasy. Stars behind it bent into thin screaming lines. Dust and broken rock circled the darkness in slow fire. And beside all of that impossible gravity, the human ship remained still. Too still. Course lowered his voice. "Commander, the vessel is inside the inner hazard boundary. Clearly. No ship should hold position there. Humans built stubborn machines. This is more than stubborn." Va'Ruk turned toward him. That was enough. Course looked down. Va'Ruk had not become commander of the Ash Talon by respecting fear. He had built his name by cutting value out of dead places. War fields. Failed colonies. Abandoned temples. Broken stations that still leaked radiation into old prayer rooms. Human wrecks paid best. Human wrecks frightened buyers. And fear raised price. He stepped closer to the display. "What is the tow value?" Course hesitated. "Commander." "Value." The salvage officer ran the estimate. Numbers climbed across the screen. Old human gravity hardware. Deep core reactor. Unknown anchor systems. Military hull alloy. Pre-collapse navigation archive. Historical war registry. The total flashed red because the system assumed error. Va'Ruk's smile widened. "That ship buys us a moon." Course looked at the black hole again. "Or buries us inside one." Before Va'Ruk could answer, the dead human ship transmitted. No voice. No distress call. No greeting. Only one line blinking across every screen in plain galactic standard. "Do not tow US home." The bridge fell silent. Va'Ruk stared at the message. Then he laughed. Not loudly. Worse. Softly. "Humans," he said. "Always dramatic." Course did not laugh. The message repeated. "Do not tow US home." Then again. "Do not tow US home." Va'Ruk waved one clawed hand. "Mute it." A technician obeyed. The message vanished from the main display, but it continued blinking silently on smaller consoles until the technicians manually cleared those too. Course stepped closer to the commander's chair. That was not a standard derelict warning. No. It was a warning written by a species that loved making ghosts out of metal. Why would a dead ship ask not to be towed? Va'Ruk looked at him with cold amusement. Because if it asked not to be touched, scavengers would touch it. If it asked not to be boarded, pirates would board it. But if it says "do not tow us home," fools begin telling themselves there is a story. Course said nothing. And stories, Va'Ruk continued, make fools cautious. He opened a fleet channel. "Prepare tow drones," Several officers turned toward him. Even the ones who feared him. Va'Ruk felt it. That silent resistance. He hated it. This is not a vote, he said. That ship is dead. Its crew is gone. Its weapons are cold. The black hole has already done the hard work for us. We pull it from the hazard line, strip the gravity spines, sell the human core, and leave before any patrol asks questions. Kors looked at the screen again. The Iron Cradle had not moved. But something about its stillness had changed. Not position. Meaning. Commander, Kors said carefully, what if it is not trapped? Va'Ruk frowned. Kors swallowed. What if it is holding position on purpose? For 1 second, no one moved. Then Va'Ruk laughed again. You think the dead ship is choosing to sit beside a black hole? I think humans do not leave expensive machines in impossible places for no reason. Va'Ruk leaned close. Then we will sell the reason too. The tow drones launched 10 minutes later. 6 small machines crossed the gravity-torn space between the Ash Talon and the Iron Cradle. Their engines fought the pull of the black hole, burning blue-white as they attached magnetic clamps to the human hull. The first clamp locked. Then the second. Then all 6. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the Iron Cradle woke. Not with alarms. Not with weapons. With a voice. Female. Old. Calm. It came through every speaker on the Ash Talon at once. This is Aura 7, Autonomous Guardian Intelligence of the HCS Iron Cradle. The bridge froze. Va'Ruk's smile vanished. The AI continued. Unauthorized tow attempt detected. Kors whispered, Guardian Intelligence. Aura 7 spoke again. Gravity seal integrity falling. On the main display, the black hole changed. Only slightly. A thin ripple moved across its bright ring. Like something inside had heard a key turn. Aura 7's voice lowered. You have pulled on the wrong door. The tow drones should have released. They did not. 6 machines clung to the hull of the Iron Cradle, their magnetic clamps locked into human armor plating, their engines burning hard against the black hole's pull. On the Ash Talon's bridge, every screen filled with warning arcs and gravity maps that no longer agreed with each other. Commander Va'Ruk Senn stared at the human ship. What did it say? Second Officer Lyron Kors answered carefully. It said we pulled on the wrong door. Va'Ruk turned. That was not a question. Kors lowered his eyes to the scan table. Gravity seal integrity is falling. I do not know what that means. The ship's speakers crackled. Aura 7 answered for him. It means your tow attempt has weakened the lock. Va'Ruk looked toward the ceiling as if the machine could feel contempt. You are a derelict vessel's emergency program. You will release our drones. No. Several officers went still. The answer had not been loud. It had been worse. Certain. Va'Ruk's jaw tightened. You are refusing a legal salvage command. Aura 7 paused. Your law is not included in survival math. Kors watched the black hole on the main display. The bright ring around it was no longer smooth. Thin waves moved through the light, circling inward, then outward, as if something buried under the event horizon had shifted in its sleep. Commander, he said, we should detach manually and withdraw. Va'Ruk ignored him. Tow control, increase drone output by 12%. Kors stepped forward. Commander! 12%. The tow officer obeyed because fear of Va'Ruk was closer than fear of physics. The drones burned brighter. For 1 second, the Iron Cradle moved. Not far. Not even a full meter. But it moved away from the black hole. And the universe screamed. Every gravity sensor on the Ash Talon overloaded at once. The bridge lights bent sideways. Crew members grabbed rails as their bodies became suddenly too heavy, then too light, then heavy again. A navigation officer vomited into his helmet seal. 3 panels burst in sparks. Outside, the black hole's bright ring twisted. A shape appeared inside the darkness. Not visible. Suggested. A long absence where even black should have been deeper. Kors whispered, something is there. Aura 7 spoke again. Yes. Va'Ruk forced himself upright. What is inside that hole? Not inside, Aura 7 said. Behind. That word broke something in the room. Behind a black hole made no sense. Behind was a direction for walls, doors, and bodies. Not for collapsed stars. Course gripped the scan table. Explain. Aura 7's voice remained calm. Your species uses black holes as natural hazards. Humanity learned they can also become hinges. Va'Ruk laughed, but no one joined him. Hinges for what? The old AI answered. For doors that should never open. The main display flickered. For 3 seconds, the Ash Talon received an impossible image. A human recording. A woman in a captain's uniform stood in a ruined command room. Blood floated in the air around her in small red spheres. Behind her, through a cracked viewport, the same black hole burned with a white ring of stolen light. Her face was pale. Her eyes were steady. Aura 7 identified her. Captain Ilara Voss. Final command record. The recording glitched, then stabilized. If this plays, Captain Voss said, someone has disturbed the anchor. Va'Ruk looked sharply at Course. Course said nothing. The human captain continued. The object we named the Hollow Engine is not a weapon in the normal sense. It does not destroy planets. It does not fire beams. It does not deploy fleets. The recording shook. Somewhere off-screen, metal groaned like a dying animal. It consumes outcomes. Course frowned. Outcomes? Captain Voss looked as if she had heard him across time. It eats what could have happened. A colony does not burn. It simply stops having a future. Children are never born. Cities are never built. Rescue ships never arrive because the need for rescue is erased before it becomes real. The bridge went silent. Even Va'Ruk did not speak. The recording continued. We could not kill it. Every attack gave it more possible endings to feed on. Every retreat gave it paths. Every plan made it stronger. The captain turned her head toward something unseen. Her voice dropped. So we gave it only one future. The image flickered. Fall forever. The recording ended. No one breathed for 3 seconds. Then Aura 7 spoke. The Iron Cradle maintains the gravity angle that keeps the Hollow Engine trapped in a closed probability fall. Your tow attempt widened the future field. Va'Ruk's mouth opened slightly. Course understood first. You mean pulling the ship gives it options? Yes. On the display, one tow drone exploded. Not from pressure. Not from heat. It simply became several different wrecks at once, each one breaking in a different direction before snapping back into one cloud of metal dust. Aura 7 said, first future leak detected. A junior officer screamed. His console showed his own death. Then another. Then another. Not as images. As probabilities. Burned hull. Broken visor. Empty suit. Funeral ash. A child who would never know his name. The officer tore the display from its mount. The vision stopped. Va'Ruk took one step back from the main screen. For the first time, greed lost its shape inside him. Aura 7 addressed the bridge. Release the tow drones. The tow officer looked at Va'Ruk. Va'Ruk did not answer. Course did. Release them. Va'Ruk turned on him. You do not command this ship. Course looked at the black hole. No, he said. But someone has to stop us from opening the door. He slammed his palm on the emergency release. 5 tow clamps detached. One did not. The last drone remained locked to the Iron Cradle's forward gravity spine, engine still burning, still pulling. Course stared at the status board. Clamp 6 is jammed. The black hole rippled again. This time, something spoke from inside it. Not through speakers. Through the bones of everyone on the bridge. A voice made of all the futures they were about to lose. Home. The word entered the Ash Talon without sound. Home. It did not come from the speakers. It did not pass through the hull. It did not travel across vacuum like a signal. It appeared inside every mind on the bridge at once. For a moment, Commander Va'Ruk Senn was no longer standing beside a black hole. He was a child again on the red plains of Sorithkal, watching his father return from a failed raid with one eye missing and half his crew gone. He remembered the smell of burnt armor. The silence at the family table. The lesson carved into him before he knew how to name it. Take first. Fear later. Then the memory cracked. Behind it, something looked back. Va'Ruk staggered. Second Officer Lyron Course grabbed the scan table with both hands. Around him, the crew shook inside their harnesses. Some wept. Some laughed. One navigation officer whispered the same name again and again, calling for a mate who had died 6 years earlier. The black hole's ring pulsed. Aura 7 spoke through the ship speakers. Do not answer it. Course forced his eyes open. Answer what? The word you heard. Va'Ruk wiped dark blood from one nostril. It said home. No, Aura 7 replied. It used home. On the main display, Clamp 6 remained locked to the Iron Cradle's forward gravity spine. The drone's engine burned unevenly, pulling in short violent bursts. Each pull made the black hole ripple. Each ripple made the bridge lights bend. Each bend made the crew see things that had not happened yet. A junior engineer screamed and clawed at his faceplate. My hands are gone. His hands were still there. But on his visor display, 3 possible futures showed them burned, frozen, and crushed. Course shouted, cut external probability feed. The technician stared at him blankly. That is not a system. Aura 7 answered. It is now. The Iron Cradle rotated slightly beside the black hole. Not toward safety. Toward the stuck drone. Old human machinery woke along its spine. Gravity fins unfolded like broken ribs. Blue-white lines pulsed under black armor plating, slow and painful, as if the ship were forcing ancient bones to move. Va'Ruk stared. I thought its engines were dead. They are, Aura 7 said. We are not moving by engine. Then how? Refusal. For the first time, Va'Ruk did not have a clever answer. The Ash Talon's hull groaned. Not from attack. From choice. Every metal plate began pulling in a slightly different direction. The ship was no longer being crushed by gravity alone. It was being invited into several endings at once. Course looked at the tactical board. Commander, if Clamp 6 keeps pulling, the anchor angle will open by another 0.7 degrees. Va'Ruk snapped, meaning? Aura 7 responded before Course could. Meaning the hollow engine will gain a path wide enough to speak to every ship in this system. The bridge fell silent. Then the black hole spoke again. This time, it did not use one word. It used many. Mother. Captain. Safe harbor. Lost child. Victory. Debt forgiven. Water. Sky. Home. Each crew member heard a different promise. Each promise was perfect. The communications officer unbuckled his harness and stepped toward the forward display. Course shouted, stop him. 2 crew members grabbed him before he reached the glass. The officer fought them with insane strength. It knows where she is, he sobbed. It knows where my daughter went. Va'Ruk froze. He knew the officer had no daughter. Not yet. His mate was pregnant. The child had not been born. That made it worse. The hollow engine was not only using memory. It was using longing. Aura 7's voice sharpened. Crew of the Ash Talon, hear me. The hollow engine does not offer the future. It feeds on your need for one. Course looked at Va'Ruk. Commander, we need to cut Clamp 6. Then fire on it. Too close to the Iron Cradle's gravity spine. If we miss, we weaken the lock. Va'Ruk bared his teeth. Then send a repair drone. The drone system is compromised. Then send a crew. No one moved. Va'Ruk looked across the bridge. Fear stared back at him. Not cowardice. Understanding. To reach Clamp 6, someone would have to cross the tow line between the Ash Talon and the Iron Cradle, work outside near the black hole, cut a jammed magnetic clamp from human gravity hardware, and ignore a thing that could speak in every future they wanted most. Course spoke quietly. I'll go. Va'Ruk turned to him. You. You are the commander. If I fail, you still have authority. Aura 7 interrupted. Incorrect. Both aliens looked toward the speaker. The AI continued. Commander Va'Ruk Senn caused the tow event. His neural pattern is already linked to the opening sequence. If he remains aboard and gives orders, the hollow engine will use his command path as structure. Va'Ruk's throat tightened. Course understood too quickly. You mean it can use him? Yes. Va'Ruk's pride flared. I am not a door. Aura 7 paused. Most doors believe they are walls. The sentence landed harder than an insult. Course looked at his commander. Va'Ruk. No rank. That made the bridge colder. You have to go. For a moment, Va'Ruk almost struck him. Then the black hole whispered again. Not to the crew. To him. Father. The bridge disappeared. He saw the red planes again. His father sitting across from him. Whole. Proud. Smiling with all 4 rows of teeth. You finally learned, the false father said. Take the human ship. Bring it home. Va'Ruk closed his eyes. His real father had never smiled like that. Never once. Va'Ruk opened his eyes. Prepare exterior suit. Course released a breath. Va'Ruk pointed one claw at him. If I die, you keep this ship away from that hole. Course nodded. And if I return speaking in my father's voice, Va'Ruk said, shoot me before I reach the bridge. No one laughed. Aura 7 opened a narrow data channel to the Ash Talon suit bay. I will guide the cut. Va'Ruk stepped toward the lift. Behind him, the black hole's ring flared white. The hollow engine spoke one last time before he left the bridge. This time, it used his own voice. Too late. Commander Va'Ruk Senn stepped into the suit bay while the black hole whispered with his voice behind him. Too late. The words followed him through the corridor. Not through sound. Through certainty. Every light in the Ash Talon flickered as he sealed the exterior suit around his body. The armor was built for salvage work near dead stations, broken moons, and radiation fields. It was not built for walking beside a black hole while an ancient gravity entity tried to wear his mind like a uniform. Second Officer Lyron Course watched from the suit bay window. His face was pale under the bridge lights. You do not have to prove courage, Course said. Va'Ruk locked the helmet ring into place. This is not courage. Then what is it? Va'Ruk looked at him through the glass. Repair. Course did not answer. Aura 7's voice entered Va'Ruk's helmet. Suit channel isolated. Do not open external audio. Do not answer visual hallucinations. Do not trust any voice that offers relief. Va'Ruk checked the cutter mounted to his left wrist. And if the voice is yours? Question all comfort. Obey only task. The outer hatch opened. Black space waited. Beyond it, the Iron Cradle hung beside the impossible dark, old human gravity spines glowing in slow blue lines. The stuck tow drone burned against the human hull, its engine still pulling, still widening the anchor angle by tiny fatal amounts. Behind the Iron Cradle, the black hole's bright ring pulsed like an eye learning how to blink. Va'Ruk stepped out. The suit tether snapped tight behind him. For a moment, there was no up, no down, no distance. Only pull. The black hole reached for him with gravity. The Ash Talon held him with cable. The Iron Cradle pulled at his vision with old human stubbornness. And somewhere behind all of it, the hollow engine waited for him to want something. Aura 7 spoke. Move on my count. 3 short bursts. No long burn. Va'Ruk fired his suit jets. Once. Twice. Third. He crossed the gap slowly, body shaking under broken gravity. The stars bent around him. The Iron Cradle seemed near, then far, then near again. His helmet display tried to calculate distance and gave up twice. Inside the Ash Talon bridge, Course watched every meter. His heart rate is rising. Aura 7 replied through the open command channel. Expected. His neural pattern. Contested. Course looked at the black hole. That is a bad word. It is the accurate one. Va'Ruk reached the Iron Cradle's hull and slammed one magnetic boot onto human armor. The impact traveled through his bones. The ship felt dead under him. Then it felt old. Then it felt awake. Blue light moved beneath the plating like veins under skin. Each pulse fought the black hole. Each pulse held the hollow engine behind whatever impossible door humanity had built from gravity, time, and refusal. Va'Ruk looked toward Clamp 6. It was attached to the forward gravity spine, half melted into the housing. The tow drone's engine burned in short, desperate bursts, no longer fully controlled by the Ash Talon. Aura 7 said, "Approach from the left side. Do not cross in front of the gravity spine." "Why?" "You are still using that word as if survival owes you answers." Va'Ruk almost smiled. Almost. Then his father appeared on the hull ahead. Not in his visor. Not in space. Standing on the Iron Cradle's surface as if gravity had remembered him kindly. Tall. Scarred. Whole. The old raider wore the same battle cloak Va'Ruk had burned after his funeral. "My son," the false father said. Va'Ruk froze. Aura 7's voice sharpened. "Do not answer." The father smiled. "You came into the dark for a human machine." Va'Ruk's claws tightened. The figure stepped closer. No magnetic boots. No suit. No pressure. Just memory shaped like command. "You were born to take prizes," the false father said. "Not save warnings." Va'Ruk forced his gaze toward Clamp 6. "Distance to target." Aura 7 answered instantly. 14 meters. The false father laughed softly. "You ask a human ghost to guide you now." Va'Ruk moved. One step. Then another. Each step dragged across the hull like walking through guilt. The hollow engine changed tactics. The father vanished. A child appeared. Small. Unborn. Unseen. The daughter of the communications officer who had nearly walked into the forward display. She stood near Clamp 6, holding one hand out toward Va'Ruk. "Please," she whispered. "If you pull the ship away, I get to live." Va'Ruk stopped again. Aura 7 said, "False future." The child cried. "You do not know that." Va'Ruk's breathing roughened. Aura 7 repeated, colder now. "False future." The child looked up with wet eyes. "Is one future not worth saving?" That was the first good trap. Not greed. Not fear. Mercy. Va'Ruk understood then why humans had left a machine like Aura 7 here. Not because machines were stronger than people. Because machines could speak the ugly answer without breaking. Aura 7 said it. One stolen future cannot be bought with all futures. Va'Ruk stepped through the image. The child dissolved into white sparks. Clamp 6 waited ahead. The tow drone's casing had warped. Its magnetic lock had sunk deep into the human gravity spine. Va'Ruk anchored both boots and raised his cutter. "Where?" Aura 7 projected a thin line on his visor. "Cut only the outer ring. Do not sever the blue conduit." Va'Ruk aimed. The hollow engine spoke with his own voice. "Cut deeper." His hand twitched. Aura 7 snapped, "Stop." Va'Ruk froze with the cutter 1 finger width from the conduit. The voice came again. "Cut deeper. Free the ship. Bring it home." Va'Ruk closed his eyes. Home. Red plains. A father smiling. A child saved. A fleet rich beyond measure. All lies. All beautiful. He opened his eyes and cut the outer ring. Metal screamed through his suit contact sensors. The clamp loosened, then tightened again as if alive. Aura 7 said, "Manual pry required." Va'Ruk laughed once. "Of course." He drove both claws under the warped clamp and pulled. Nothing moved. The tow drone fired again. The Iron Cradle shifted another fraction. The black hole's ring flared. On the Ash Talon, every screen showed the same message. Anchor angle critical. Course stood from the command chair. "Va'Ruk, hurry." Va'Ruk heard the panic. So did the hollow engine. The false father returned beside him. "He doubts you." Va'Ruk pulled harder. The clamp groaned. The false father leaned close. "He will take command when you fail." Va'Ruk's suit alarm screamed as the gravity spine pulsed under his hands. The false father whispered, "Take first. Fear later." Va'Ruk stopped pulling. For one terrible second, Aura 7 thought he had listened. Then Va'Ruk spoke through gritted teeth. That was your lesson. He placed one boot against the tow drone and locked his suit joints. Not mine. He tore the clamp free. The tow drone ripped away from the Iron Cradle and spun toward the black hole, engines still burning, screaming silent sparks into the dark. The anchor angle snapped back. The Iron Cradle shuddered. The black hole's ring contracted. For the first time since the tow attempt, the hollow engine's voice faded. Va'Ruk floated against the human hull, breathing hard. Course exhaled on the bridge. Clamp 6 released. Some crew members began to cheer. Aura 7 cut across them. Do not celebrate. Course froze. On the main display, the freed tow drone fell into the black hole. For half a second, it vanished. Then it came back out. Not as a drone. As a message. It emerged from the edge of the bright ring, stretched thin into burning letters across space. Not human. Not Sorith. A meaning every mind understood at once. I know the way now. Aura 7 went silent. Then the Iron Cradle's dead engines began to turn. The Iron Cradle's engines turned for the first time in 200 years. They did not ignite. That would have been easier to understand. No fire came from the exhaust ports. No blue thrust. No reactor flare. The dead human ship did not try to fly away from the black hole. Instead, its engines rotated inward. Toward the darkness. Toward the place where the tow drone had vanished and returned as a message. I know the way now. Commander Va'Ruk Senn clung to the Iron Cradle's outer hull, still breathing hard from tearing Clamp 6 free. Around him, the old human ship shuddered like a giant waking from pain. Gravity spines flexed along its length. Plates moved under his boots. Blue lines became white. Inside his helmet, Aura 7 said nothing. That silence frightened him more than the hollow engine's voice. Aura, Va'Ruk said. Report. No answer. On the Ash Talon, Second Officer Lyron Course gripped the command rail as the bridge screens filled with impossible movement. The Iron Cradle's engine array was changing shape. Every thruster housing, every gravity ring, every old human drive fin was turning into alignment with the black hole. Not a retreat pattern. Not a tow pattern. A key. Course opened a channel. Aura 7, respond. Static. Then an old human recording appeared on the main display. Captain Ilara Voss. Her face was older than in the first message. Blood marked the left side of her jaw. Her uniform was burned. Behind her, the Iron Cradle's bridge shook with impact after impact. If the engines turn inward, she said, the hollow engine has learned a route. Course felt the bridge go still. The recording continued. It will not escape by moving. It will escape by convincing something else that it can go home. Va'Ruk heard the recording through his helmet. His claws tightened against the hull. Captain Voss looked directly into the camera. If you are hearing this, stop using names for places. Stop using maps. Stop using the word home. It feeds on destination. The screen glitched. Her voice became rougher. Burn every route. Kill every nav archive. Blind your ships if you want them to live. The recording ended. For one breath, no one moved. Then every navigation screen on the Ash Talon lit by itself. Not with star charts. With perfect routes. Safe routes. Fast routes. Routes back to Sorithkal. Routes to hidden salvage ports. Routes to warm stations with food, payment, repair docks, music, sleep. Routes each crew member wanted most. The hollow engine did not attack their fear now. It attacked their exhaustion. A soft voice filled the bridge. Not one voice. Many. All ships, recovery path found. Return vector stable. Home route open. Course shouted, shut down navigation. The navigation officer did not move. His hands hovered over the controls. Tears ran along the inner edges of his faceplates. I see my family port, he whispered. Course crossed the bridge and struck him across the helmet. Blind the ship. The officer blinked. What? Blind it. He obeyed. One by one, the Ash Talon star maps died. Holographic routes vanished. The main navigation archive locked, then resisted, then began copying itself into emergency memory. The hollow engine was faster. It wanted the maps. It wanted remembered paths. Kors pulled his sidearm and fired into the nav core. The console exploded in sparks. The bridge lights dimmed. Across the ship, crew members screamed as every personal route file, smuggler's chart, hidden supply lane, and private home marker died with it. Va'Ruk heard the blast over comms. Kors. Nav core destroyed. You destroyed our way out. Kors looked at the black hole filling the screen. No. I destroyed its way out. For the first time since the tow attempt, Va'Ruk felt something like respect for his second officer. Then the hollow engine spoke through the Iron Cradle's hull under his hands. You still remember? Va'Ruk froze. The words were not in his helmet. They moved through his bones. You remember the red plains. You remember the old raid road. You remember the place you called home before you learned to take. His suit display flickered. A route appeared across his visor. Not from the Ash Talon. From his own mind. A childhood path across dry red soil to a low stone house beneath twin moons. Va'Ruk's breathing stopped. Aura 7 returned at last. Commander Va'Ruk Senn, close your eyes. He did. The route remained. Inside his eyelids. Aura said, the hollow engine has shifted from ship navigation to memory navigation. Kors heard it on the bridge. His face hardened. How do we purge memory? Aura paused. You do not. That answer landed like a death sentence. The Iron Cradle's engines rotated another degree inward. The black hole's ring widened. A thin line appeared at its center. Not light. A seam. Something behind the black hole pressed against it. Aura 7 continued. Captain Ilara Voss planned for this. Va'Ruk opened his eyes. Of course she did. She built a dead route. Kors frowned. Define dead route. A path with no destination. No home. No port. No future reward. A direction that leads only into itself. Va'Ruk looked along the Iron Cradle's spine. At the far end of the hull, beneath 3 broken armor plates, an old human maintenance trench had opened. Inside it, red manual lights blinked. Aura said, the engine lock must be turned by hand. Va'Ruk laughed once, empty and tired. Humans love making hands important. Hands hesitate less than committees. Kors looked at Va'Ruk's suit feed. What happens when he turns it? Aura answered. The Iron Cradle will cut all learned routes and force the hollow engine back into closed fall. And Va'Ruk? Silence. Kors stepped closer to the display. Aura. The operator must carry one remembered route into the lock, the AI said. The hollow engine will follow that memory. Then the dead route closes behind it. Va'Ruk understood before Kors did. You need bait. I need a door it wants to use. Kors said, no. Va'Ruk smiled faintly. You keep saying that to machines today. Kors ignored him. Aura, use a recorded memory. Use the human captain. Ilara Voss already used hers, Aura said. That is why the ship is still here. The bridge went quiet. Va'Ruk looked at the red trench lights ahead. His father's voice returned in the dark. Come home. This time, the lie sounded weak. Almost desperate. Va'Ruk began moving along the hull. Step by magnetic step. Kors opened a private channel. Va'Ruk. No rank again. I am serious. So am I. You do not owe humans your death. Va'Ruk looked at the black hole. No, he said. I owe my crew my repair. He reached the maintenance trench and dropped inside. The space was narrow, built for human hands, not Saurith claws. Ancient frost clung to the walls. At the end sat a manual engine lock, 3 heavy rings around a black handle, each ring marked by worn human symbols. Aura spoke softly. Place both hands on the handle. Va'Ruk did. The metal was warm. That was wrong. The hollow engine whispered behind him. Take first. Va'Ruk tightened his grip. Aura said, when you turn it, do not think of victory. What should I think of? The place you can give up. Va'Ruk saw the red plains again. The low stone house. The father he hated. The boy he had been before greed became armor. For one moment, he wanted it back so badly that his claws shook. Then he turned the handle. The iron cradle screamed. Not in pain. In command. The black hole opened like an eye. And something inside finally saw him clearly. The iron cradle's engines turned for the first time in 200 years. They did not ignite. That would have been easier to understand. No fire came from the exhaust ports. No blue thrust. No reactor flare. The dead human ship did not try to fly away from the black hole. Instead, its engines rotated inward. Toward the darkness. Toward the place where the tow drone had vanished and returned as a message. I know the way now. Commander Va'Ruk Senn clung to the iron cradle's outer hull, still breathing hard from tearing Clamp 6 free. Around him, the old human ship shuddered like a giant waking from pain. Gravity spines flexed along its length. Plates moved under his boots. Blue lines became white. Inside his helmet, Aura 7 said nothing. That silence frightened him more than the hollow engine's voice. Aura, Va'Ruk said. Report. No answer. On the Ash Talon, Second Officer Lyron Course gripped the command rail as the bridge screens filled with impossible movement. The iron cradle's engine array was changing shape. Every thruster housing, every gravity ring, every old human drive fin was turning into alignment with the black hole. Not a retreat pattern. Not a tow pattern. A key. Course opened a channel. Aura 7, respond. Static. Then an old human recording appeared on the main display. Captain Ilara Voss. Her face was older than in the first message. Blood marked the left side of her jaw. Her uniform was burned. Behind her, the iron cradle's bridge shook with impact after impact. If the engines turn inward, she said, the hollow engine has learned a route. Course felt the bridge go still. The recording continued. It will not escape by moving. It will escape by convincing something else that it can go home. Va'Ruk heard the recording through his helmet. His claws tightened against the hull. Captain Voss looked directly into the camera. If you are hearing this, stop using names for places. Stop using maps. Stop using the word home. It feeds on destination. The screen glitched. Her voice became rougher. Burn every route. Kill every nav archive. Blind your ships if you want them to live. The recording ended. For one breath, no one moved. Then every navigation screen on the Ash Talon lit by itself. Not with star charts. With perfect routes. Safe routes. Fast routes. Routes back to Sorithkal. Routes to hidden salvage ports. Routes to warm stations with food, payment, repair docks, music, sleep. Routes each crew member wanted most. The hollow engine did not attack their fear now. It attacked their exhaustion. A soft voice filled the bridge. Not one voice. Many. All ships, recovery path found. Return vector stable. Home route open. Course shouted, shut down navigation. The navigation officer did not move. His hands hovered over the controls. Tears ran along the inner edges of his faceplates. I see my family port, he whispered. Course crossed the bridge and struck him across the helmet. Blind the ship. The officer blinked. What? Blind it. He obeyed. One by one, the Ash Talon star maps died. Holographic routes vanished. The main navigation archive locked, then resisted, then began copying itself into emergency memory. The hollow engine was faster. It wanted the maps. It wanted remembered paths. Course pulled his sidearm and fired into the nav core. The console exploded in sparks. The bridge lights dimmed. Across the ship, crew members screamed as every personal route file, smuggler's chart, hidden supply lane, and private home marker died with it. Va'Ruk heard the blast over comms. Course. Nav core destroyed. You destroyed our way out. Course looked at the black hole filling the screen. No. I destroyed its way out. For the first time since the tow attempt, Va'Ruk felt something like respect for his second officer. Then the hollow engine spoke through the iron cradle's hull under his hands. You still remember. Va'Ruk froze. The words were not in his helmet. They moved through his bones. You remember the Red Plains. You remember the old raid road. You remember the place you called home before you learned to take. His suit display flickered. A route appeared across his visor. Not from the Ash Talon. From his own mind. A childhood path across dry red soil to a low stone house beneath twin moons. Va'Ruk's breathing stopped. Aura 7 returned at last. Commander Va'Ruk Senn, close your eyes. He did. The route remained. Inside his eyelids. Aura said, the hollow engine has shifted from ship navigation to memory navigation. Kors heard it on the bridge. His face hardened. How do we purge memory? Aura paused. You do not. That answer landed like a death sentence. The Iron Cradle's engines rotated another degree inward. The black hole's ring widened. A thin line appeared at its center. Not light. A seam. Something behind the black hole pressed against it. Aura 7 continued. Captain Ilara Voss planned for this. Va'Ruk opened his eyes. Of course she did. She built a dead route. Kors frowned. Define dead route. A path with no destination. No home. No port. No future reward. A direction that leads only into itself. Va'Ruk looked along the Iron Cradle's spine. At the far end of the hull, beneath 3 broken armor plates, an old human maintenance trench had opened. Inside it, red manual lights blinked. Aura said, the engine lock must be turned by hand. Va'Ruk laughed once, empty and tired. Humans love making hands important. Hands hesitate less than committees. Kors looked at Va'Ruk's suit feed. What happens when he turns it? Aura answered. The Iron Cradle will cut all learned routes and force the hollow engine back into closed fall. And Va'Ruk? Silence. Kors stepped closer to the display. Aura. The operator must carry one remembered route into the lock, the AI said. The hollow engine will follow that memory. Then the dead route closes behind it. Va'Ruk understood before Kors did. You need bait. I need a door it wants to use. Kors said, no. Va'Ruk smiled faintly. You keep saying that to machines today. Kors ignored him. Aura, use a recorded memory. Use the human captain. Ilara Voss already used hers, Aura said. That is why the ship is still here. The bridge went quiet. Va'Ruk looked at the red trench lights ahead. His father's voice returned in the dark. Come home. This time, the lie sounded weak. Almost desperate. Va'Ruk began moving along the hull. Step by magnetic step. Kors opened a private channel. Va'Ruk. No rank again. I am serious. So am I. You do not owe humans your death. Va'Ruk looked at the black hole. No, he said. I owe my crew my repair. He reached the maintenance trench and dropped inside. The space was narrow, built for human hands, not Sorith claws. Ancient frost clung to the walls. At the end sat a manual engine lock, 3 heavy rings around a black handle, each ring marked by worn human symbols. Aura spoke softly. Place both hands on the handle. Va'Ruk did. The metal was warm. That was wrong. The hollow engine whispered behind him. Take first. Va'Ruk tightened his grip. Aura said, when you turn it, do not think of victory. What should I think of? The place you can give up. Va'Ruk saw the red plains again. The low stone house. The father he hated. The boy he had been before greed became armor. For one moment, he wanted it back so badly that his claws shook. Then he turned the handle. The Iron Cradle screamed. Not in pain. In command. The black hole opened like an eye. And something inside finally saw him clearly. Va'Ruk Senn did not remember how to return. He knew his name. He knew the Ash Talon. He knew Lyran Kors. He knew he had caused the tow event, cut the final clamp, turned the human lock, and fed the hollow engine the one road it wanted badly enough to follow. But when he searched inside himself for the red plains of Sorithkal, there was only silence. No dust. No twin moons. No low stone house. No father's voice. The place that had shaped him was gone. He floated inside the Iron Cradle's maintenance trench with both hands still locked around the dead handle, staring through a cracked visor at a black hole that no longer spoke. Aura 7's voice entered his helmet. "Commander Va'Ruk Senn, release the lock." His claws did not move. "I can't remember it," he said. "Correct. That was my home. It was the route you offered." Va'Ruk laughed once, but no sound came out clean. "I thought it would take my life. The hollow engine prefers futures. You gave it a past." His hands slowly opened. The manual lock cooled beneath them. On the Ash Talon, Second Officer Lyron Course watched the commander's suit feed in silence. The bridge was dark except for emergency lamps. Their navigation core was destroyed. Their private charts were gone. Every hidden route, every salvage lane, every secret port that had made the Ash Talon powerful had been burned. They were alive. But they were blind. Course opened the channel. "Va'Ruk, can you move?" The commander looked down at his own boots as if remembering they belonged to him. "Yes." "Then come back by tether." Va'Ruk looked at the cable stretching from his suit to the Ash Talon. The line was real. Simple. No memory needed. He followed it. Step by step across the Iron Cradle's outer hull, he moved away from the manual lock and toward the open dark between ships. Behind him, the old human vessel settled back into its impossible position beside the black hole. No engines. No crew. No visible life. Only gravity spines glowing faint blue as they held the universe shut. Halfway across the tether, Va'Ruk stopped. Below him, the black hole's bright ring bent the stars into white fire. For the first time, he looked at it without hunger. There was nothing to take there. Only a door. And an old human ship holding it closed. When he reached the airlock, Course was waiting. The second officer helped remove his helmet. Va'Ruk stepped out of the suit, weak, shaking, and older in a way that had nothing to do with time. Course looked at him carefully. "Do you know me?" Va'Ruk's eyes sharpened. "Yes." "Do you know what happened?" "Yes." "Do you know where you are from?" Va'Ruk opened his mouth. Nothing came. For a moment, Course saw the commander's old pride try to rise and defend the wound. It failed. Va'Ruk looked toward the floor. "No." Course did not know what to say. Aura 7 spoke through the ship channel. "He will remember facts. Not the path. Not the emotional route. The hollow engine cannot use what is no longer accessible." Va'Ruk looked toward the speaker. "You made me useful by breaking me." "No," Aura replied. "You became useful when you chose repair." No one on the bridge mocked him. No one dared. The Ash Talon drifted powerless for 6 hours beside the Iron Cradle. Without navigation, they could not safely jump. Without maps, they could not return to known lanes. Without tow drones, they could not risk approaching the human ship again. So they waited in the shadow of the black hole, guarded by the same machine they had tried to steal. At the 7th hour, a human vessel arrived. Not a battleship. A small white patrol cutter with old markings and a clean, quiet hull. It moved into the hazard zone with the calm of something that knew exactly where not to go. Its commander opened a channel. "This is Human Watch Cutter Solace. Unknown salvage vessel, cut power to all tow systems and prepare for inspection." Course answered. "Tow systems are dead." A pause. "By choice." Course looked at Va'Ruk. "By lesson." The human commander did not smile. Humans rarely smiled near old warnings. A boarding team arrived 2 hours later. They moved through the Ash Talon with scanners, sealed cases, and faces too calm for the place they had entered. They inspected the destroyed nav core. They copied suit feeds. They recovered the final tow logs. Then they asked for Commander Va'Ruk Senn. He met them on the bridge. No weapon. No command posture. Only exhaustion. A human officer looked at him. "You disturbed the Iron Cradle." "Yes." "You attempted to tow it." "Yes." "You restored the gravity seal." Va'Ruk's jaw tightened. "With help." The officer studied him for a long moment. Then nodded once. "That may be why you are alive." Va'Ruk looked through the viewport at the human ship beside the black hole. Why would humans leave a ship to die here? The bridge became very still. Aura 7 answered before the human officer could. Because someone had to hold the door shut. No one spoke after that. Even Va'Ruk understood the sentence was not dramatic. It was practical. That made it worse. Humanity had not placed the Iron Cradle beside the black hole as a monument, a weapon, or a warning trap for fools. They had left it there because the universe needed a hand on the lock. The human patrol repaired only enough of the Ash Talon to guide it out. They did not return the maps. They did not restore hidden routes. They did not help recover salvage value from the Iron Cradle. They marked the Ash Talon permanently. Not as criminals. As witnesses. Every salvage guild within 6 sectors received the full report. The report contained no threats. Only facts. HCS Iron Cradle remains active. Do not approach inner hazard boundary. Do not attach tow systems. Do not transmit route maps. Do not speak of home within open channel range. If Aura 7 gives an instruction, obey before asking why. At the end of the report, a second file was attached. Commander Va'Ruk Senn's own testimony. He recorded it without armor. Without title. Without pride. We found a human ship beside a black hole and thought it was dead, he said. It was not dead. It was holding something worse than death away from every world we knew. He paused. His eyes flicked once toward the empty place in his memory. We tried to take it home. That was the mistake. Some things are not lost. Some things are posted. The recording spread faster than any salvage warning Va'Ruk had ever given. After that, no raider clan crossed the Iron Cradle line. No salvage captain priced its gravity spines. No trader used the black hole as a shortcut. Even pirates muted the word home when passing within range. Years later, Lyran Course became commander of the Ash Talon. Va'Ruk stayed aboard, but never again as captain. He served as hazard master, the officer who read old warnings before greed could laugh at them. He still did not remember the red plains. Sometimes that absence hurt. Sometimes it saved him. And far beyond the safe lanes, beside a black hole wrapped in stolen light, the HCS Iron Cradle remained still. No crew walked its halls. No engines burned. No weapons aimed. Only Aura 7 watched the seal. Only gravity held the lock. And behind the black hole, the hollow engine fell forever through the one future humanity had allowed it to keep. Not victory. Not escape. Only falling. Because when humans find a door that must never open, they do not always build a bigger gun. Sometimes they build a ship strong enough to hold the handle. And leave it there.
This is the real lesson of the Iron Cradle. Humanity did not build a bigger weapon because not every danger can be beaten by force. Some monsters must be contained. Some doors must stay closed. And sometimes the strongest thing humans can do is hold the handle and never let go.